Hello and welcome to the Clever channel. I am Jason, your host, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Let's talk about dementia and how to fight it. And it is a fight. Whether you've been diagnosed with dementia or you're looking after someone. It's nasty, it's not fun, but you can fight it. And you need to, right from the start, be proactive. From setting up power of attorney, so someone who you trust can look after you and take care of you when you can't make those decisions yourself, both a financial and an asset one. This will help your loved ones. This will help them to deal with what's going on and to be there for you and to be effective. Set up a DNR, do not resuscitate, for later on, because believe me, you don't want to be in a position where they keep trying to bring you back because you haven't told them that no, it's okay if I pass on, don't bring me back. You need to make a plan. You need to start organising things for long term, like setting a journal up with your family and that. All the things that your favourite things, from colours to materials, your favourite bedspread, everything that will connect you to the world, your favourite pictures, everything that you love. And as loved ones, you can help with this. You can help create this sort of armour. But that's for the long term. That is for when you're preparing for the time when you don't have your faculties, when you aren't, when you don't know how bad things are, thankfully, and your friends, your family, and that have to deal with it. You may want to have a waking funeral or a living funeral before you get thingy, so you can appreciate it. That might be a fun thing. You can do lots of things. It's not morose. It's not. You're not thinking dark thoughts. You're not defeated. You're being realistic. And if you've got a bucket list, make it right at the fucking start and start working on it. Don't have regrets. Do all the things you can now. Don't think, oh, we'll fix you in that. Listen, let me explain something, a simple fact. There's some very, very rich people in the world who've got dementia. Bruce Willis has a type of that kind of thing. I think it's aphasic dementia or something like that. And Terry Pratchett had it, and all their money, all their fans didn't cure them. I'm sorry. There'll be lots of people who will try to hoodwink you with special things that you can do to fix it. And I'm sorry. We tried everything. Everybody will. It's what you do. But I'm sorry. You've got to be a realistic person and say, okay, so right at the start, you need to fight. You need to sign up for any kind of trials that they're doing. There is lots of research going on in every country to do with dementia, because it's a massive thing these days. So put yourself forward. After all, what's the worst that can happen? You might die a bit quicker. You might die before it actually takes away your ability to think. Some would say that was a blessing. Others would not. But think about it. A lot of these trials may come with risks, but it's got to be a pretty bad risk to outlay the chance that it may actually make a difference. There's lots of medication out there that you can try, and yes, some of it's horrible, and some of it will make you feel ill and that, but it might give you a few more years in the early stages. And this is the thing, the early stages are what really matter to you as someone who is suffering this. The stages where you're still you, where you can actually do things and spend time with your family and all these things. The early stages are really important, both for you and for your family. So, if you're a gamer, play games. It is widely known that computer games and such like that actually can help challenge your brain and help write new pathways. As your pathways in your brain die away, doing things that you have a passion for, doing things that make you happy, doing things that make you laugh, doing things that you enjoy. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you should be doing something else. Do what makes you happy. And your family needs to make sure you're doing what makes you happy, because when rational slows down, you'll still have heart, you'll still have your love, you'll still have your passion. And believe me, a lot of people who have gone through things like strokes have been told by doctors they will never walk again, but their passion, their anger, their pissed offedness, their stubbornness is what got them walking. As in, they rewrote their brain's pathways. They may have took damage to the mobility centre, and they may have took damage to the but the brain can adapt, it's multifunction. And if you try, you can get what's right. You will run out of bandwidth. Damage will happen that you can't repair over time. But you can keep that away. You can fight that by doing things that keep your brain active. Right. I would say, and this is a controversial thing, but I'm going to say here, don't waste your time on body health. Don't neglect it, but don't make it a focus, please. My mum was always looking after her body health, and what's happened because of that? She's hanging on and hanging on and hanging on. She's not conscious or anything, but her body, her heart is still pumping, pardon me, her lungs are still breathing, and her body, the constitution she had, because she did lots of exercise and stuff like that, means that right at the end, the end time is going to last longer, and that won't be good for you or your family. So don't be defeatist, don't give up on keeping yourself in shape, but don't make it a priority. Prioritize your brain. Do anything you can to keep your brain active. Whatever you love, whatever is your passion, if you have a favourite hobby, no matter what it is, focus on that. Focus on that for as long as you can, because that will be what keeps you going. The passion and stubborn-mindedness and that. You will be able to last much longer in the early days if you find a passion, find something that really gets you up in the morning and gets you thinking. You will have self-pity. You will feel defeated. You are fighting a monster. You are fighting something really evil. And it doesn't take any prisoners. It doesn't play fair. It hurts. It hurts you and your family. See if I can go now. Let's try to quickly go. You don't. It will take from you. Unfortunately, it will. But your love, your family, your cares will keep you going far longer. And it's the early days that matter. Before you have to go into a home, before that. Don't worry about that. That will happen when you no longer know what's happening. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about going into a home. Don't worry about care facilities. Don't worry about that. Sort it out, yes, but don't actively think, oh my God, I'm going. No, because by the time you are at that point, you won't care. You will not know. You will not be. You will actually, by that time, you will be off in your own world. You will be spending most of your time in your own world. It's sad but true. Just like go past this space. So do what makes you happy. Spend time with those men. And it's okay to rage, it's okay to be annoyed, but don't be annoyed with your family, or try not to until you can't help it. It's not their fault. You've got a horrible, nasty fucking illness that's doing things that you can't stop. And nobody can stop. But you can. My mum always said this. It doesn't matter how many breaths you take, it's the moments that take your breath away. And to put that simply, that just means nobody knows how many days they've got, how much, but fill them with quality. You will have bad days, you will stumble, you will fall. It's up to you when you give up. And it's it's okay to do that as well. Seriously, you are being thrown the dice is being rolled and you've been added a fucking sucky result. No doubt about that. But you can decide. You can decide how far this goes and how you take this. And there's lots of support groups out there to help you. And yes, there is medication out there, depending on the type of dementia you've got. There is medication out there that will keep it away for years. My mum was unfortunate. She was completely immune to most of the medications that were available when hers started. And she tried everything. But we still made sure that we had time together. And part of the thing that keeps me going when I go to the hospital and see my mum, as I am today, in the state she's in, is that I know I've said everything I needed to. That we got to spend time together, to laugh, to have fun. We did stuff that mattered to us. So, my greatest sympathies to anybody who gets this diagnosis and has to deal with it. You're not alone. In the 90s and the 80s, cancer was the big bad thing that we didn't talk about. Cancer was this taboo subject. We used to call it the C word. We wouldn't even mention its name. It was like fucking Voldemort. You don't mention the name. It's crazy. But with time and progress and science, and more it was about talking about it, which is why I used to do all the videos on cancer and that. So to everyone who's been diagnosed, who watches this, you can fight. And the only good thing about it for the person who's diagnosed is by the time you can't fight, you won't realise that you stopped fighting. For those of you who are going to be carers, you're putting yourself in the line of fire. And you're doing it because you have to, because you love, because you want to. You're doing it because no one else can. You're amazing. You're a hero. You're no less a hero than a person who gets out of a trench in a war and goes over no man's land. Because you will face terror. You will face pain. You will face suffering. There's lots of support groups, there's lots of people out there who will help you and talk about it, because a lot of us have been there, unfortunately. If you watch my video shows, you'll know what's coming. You'll know what your limit is and how far you can go. And never, ever, ever feel guilty when you have to put them in a home. You cannot look after someone with dementia all the way to the end, except with extremely massive support and knowledge. It just isn't possible because of the situation and the way it goes. I've got bits of stuff in my hair. Alright, let's get up here. So, support each other. Last bit of advice, talk to each other. Dementia is the monster in the dark. You need to shine a light on it. You need to acknowledge the stuff you can't change and focus on the stuff you can. Because, how can I put it? It's just a situation where you're going to have to be stronger than you think you are. I've always said that human beings are far stronger than they ever think they are. They really are. It really is amazing how strong a human being is. We don't realise just how strong we are of what we face in our lives. And we still get up every morning and we still go to work and we still do stuff. You are stronger than you think you are. You can do this. But don't feel guilty or bad. And the thing is, this is the sad thing. I'm going to tell you all this and you're still going to think it. When you get to the point where you have to put your loved one in a home because you can't cope and you can't do any more, you're going to feel so fucking guilty. It's almost like survivor's guilt. It really is. You'll beat yourself up about it, and your friends will have to remind you on what you went through, what you did, how much you coped with. Because you are amazing. So this is Jason for the Quever channel. I'm just going to stop for a second. Ooh. So there we are. This is bye bye for now. I'm going to do another one after this, about a different subject.